12 years ago, I would describe my faith life as a content Christmas and Easter Catholic. I believed in God. However, I was poorly catechized. Insert a family tragedy. And this content Catholic became a sad, fearful, and frustrated Catholic. 3 weeks of misery culminated in a meeting with my pastor, who was here this evening, and his former pastor, as he let me know, and his suggestion that I explore the Pillars class of the Catechetical Institute, or as Kelly says, it's much easier to say CI. The Pillars class changed my life. It guided me through a 2-year, in-depth study of the 4 pillars of our Catholic faith. I loved this class because it revealed to me that no matter what happens, good or bad, God has a plan for your life, and it is very good. 4 fruits of my journey in 4 words: foundation, freedom, family, and friendship. The first pillar taught me what we believe as Catholics. It replaced a fear of the unknown with a foundation of truth. At that time, our kids were enrolled in parochial school, and in my heart, I knew that I needed them to know their faith, but I wasn't qualified to teach them. The pillars gave Mom her foundation. I was learning as my kids were learning, but more importantly, I began to model the faith in our home. I realized if our kids were going to believe what they learned about their faith, they needed to see their parents living the faith at home. The second pillar, on the Christian mystery and sacramental life, replaced frustration with freedom. My daughter, who's here tonight, also a CI graduate, describes the Catechism as the book of why, rather than the book of do's and don'ts. Being free from confusion about my faith allows me to explain the why of my faith, which is far more attractive to listeners than the rules. The third pillar, on the life in Christ, explores God's vocational calls and the moral life. This pillar replaced my sadness around death with the joy of being part of a faith community. God didn't create us to be alone. He created us to be part of a family. The sacraments came to life. My gifts of service and helps were ignited. I became more involved at church, and I fell in love with my parish family. Lastly, the fourth pillar on prayer led me to a friendship with Christ. Studies say it takes 200 hours with a person to form a deep friendship. Well, based on my prayer life, Christ is my best friend. One of my CI instructors described the first 3 pillars as beautiful tapestries and the 4th pillar of prayer as the thread that weaves the tapestries together. My foundation, my freedom, my family are all woven together by my friendship with Christ. I pray daily for the grace to see and live God's plan for my life. Looking back, only God could have lined up the people and experiences that brought me to this podium. The CI, along with many, many holy priests, led me home to my church. God has a grip on my life, and nothing remains untouched. My story is one of over 2,000 stories of graduates in this diocese. I encourage you to share my story, ask other graduates about their stories, or maybe enroll in the CI and discover your own story. God bless.